I've definitely got to tell the story of my awesome little good luck horny toad. Growing up, I was definitely a critter chaser, you know, hunting, fishing, catching snakes and lizards and frogs and turtles and anything I could get my hands on. You know, that first morning out, we're walking down the road, and I mean, the light's just coming up, it's cold, and I look down, I just catch some movement down in the clay road we're walking on, and I see this little horny toad kind of working his way across the road. So I reach down and I pick him up, and he's just a little fella, man. He just sits right in the palm of my hand. Cool looking little dude, right? So I can tell he's a reptile, so he's cold and he's kind of moving kind of slow. So I'm like, you know, I'm kind of looking at him. I'm showing Andrew, my camera guy, because I don't think he'd seen one before. I'm like, hey, maybe seen one of these, and I'm checking him out, and he's looking cool. And all of a sudden, Dustin looks back at me. He's like, what do you got? I'm like, I got a little horny toad, man. He's like, you know, the Indians say those are good luck, and you know, you ought to put them in your pocket, because you put them in your pocket, will probably kill something. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna stick this little guy in my pocket just because he's cold, and just see if he hangs out. You know, if he climbs out, he climbs out. So I stick him in my pocket. You know, my pocket's all nice and warm, and little man just snuggles down in there, and he's all cozy and warming up. So I'm like, let's see what happens. At this point, I got him in my pocket. We're slipping around, we're looking, and we find the goat again. That buck starts slipping out, stomping his foot, blowing. I'm just waiting for him to step out and give me that clear shot. Finally, he clears the bushes, steps by the does. I can see the does are flinching and getting tense, and they're ready to go. I can see he's getting ready to go. As soon as he turns and gives me a shot, I pull the trigger, and he folds like a lawn chair. You know, after I got that buck down, you know, at this point, you know, I forgot about this horny toad, and I just assumed he wasn't in my pocket. You know, so my buck's down, adrenaline's going, we're high-fiving, everything's great. Well, next thing you know, we're setting up our buck, you know, we're taking pictures, we're doing all the stuff we need to do for TV, and literally, you know, I'd say an hour and a half has passed, maybe 2 hours since I put that little horny toad in my pocket. So, you know, I totally forgot about him. We're done taking pictures, you know, we're gutting the antelope, we're just kind of hanging out, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, I just kind of remembered that I had him in my pocket. I'm like, man, I wonder if he's still there. You know, I reached down in my pocket, and sure enough, I can feel him in there. He's just hanging out. I pull him out, put him in my hand. He's all spunky. He's all warmed up, and he's, you know, he's all warmed up and happy. And I'm like, man, he did the trick. So I looked over at Dustin. I showed him the horny toad, and I'm like, look, man. He's like, you kept that thing. I'm like, man, I stuck him in my pocket. He's like, I told you. He said, if you put that thing in your pocket, we'll kill a good buck. So I don't know if he had anything to do with it, but I'll tell you what. You know, we went out there, we were on a buck within 15 minutes. I picked up my horny toad, and I had that buck down on the ground in another 15, 20 minutes, and he was a record buck antelope, and he was the biggest one I ever shot. So I'd say that was a pretty lucky little toad. I guess the only mistake I made was I probably should have taken him to Gina and handed some of my good luck off to Gina. I ended up letting him go after that. I'm like, you served your purpose, little man.